P26, Alturi Malin from Finland as well. There's Lullam on the right hand side of your screen, just adjusting his gloves, sitting, thinking. He'll have gone through the tactics for the start with the Piers Sexton Racing team. His mechanic Ollie Richards will have talked through where to try and position the kart. The tyre pressures will be set, so Lullam will know, well, the tyre pressures are either set to come on early to give me a gap, or they're set to come on late, so I've got to try and defend and hold off everybody behind in the first couple of laps, and then my kart will come into its own and I can pull away like I pretty much have done all weekend. But rest assured that everybody behind them has got their best setup, their best kit ready for this race. Lullam may have had things all his own way in the heats and to a certain extent in the pre-final, but this is where everybody behind wants to put in their absolute best showing. So 26 karts all leave the start-finish line on the first of what I believe will be 2 rolling laps. Lullam on pole, Goldstein second, Tor Stallman's third. Now this junior X30 class, for those of you watching karting for the first time, the youngest driver 12 years old, Joseph Taylor, Delano Van Hoff, Jason Leung, all in the 12-year-old bracket. In fact, Yuna Oscar Eureka, yeah, he's just turned 12 as well. The oldest, just 14. Tor Stallmans, Matthias Salonen amongst the 14-year-olds in the field. So 12, 13 and 14 years old in this class. Speeds, nearly 70 miles an hour. Laps, 12. Potential winners, well, even though Lullam's undefeated, all it takes is one mistake, one clipped curb to flick a chain off, and the race is wide open. And I say that even though Lullam and Goldstein have taken the top 2 positions in every race so far, it certainly has not been spread out, so to speak. Lullam has had a bit of a gap. He hasn't been romping away by 10 seconds or anything like that, but he has done enough. Has he got enough left? They file through the Button complex and into turn number 8 now. Lullam and Goldstein will slow down. They will get into their 2 rows, and you can see Ellie Goldstein trying to squeeze Chris Lullam as much as possible, trying to force Lullam off the racing line to see if he can pick up any bits of dirt, detritus, grit, gravel on those tyres. The gamesmanship that these drivers play on the rolling lap, well, it's a bit of a dark art, but Lullam has to maintain the pace. They have got 13 rows of 2 as they come out of this next corner. They will get into their tram lines. We wait for the lights to change. We are off and racing. Lullam gets a good start. Goldstein drops back 3 or 4 places. Stallman's grabs second. That is what Stallman's planned earlier. Oh, there's been a crash. There's 5, 6 drivers. There goes Joseph Taylor round the very outside to try and avoid 3 drivers off. And that has allowed Lullam and Stallman's to break clear. And I think Goldstein may have been right. Delano Van Hoff is one of them. I think the number 22, Tyler Reid, is involved in that. Oh, it's such a shame for Tyler. From the 3rd row of the grid down towards turn number 6. Everybody gets through turn 6 cleanly, but Lullam and Stallmans have made the break, and I think that is possibly Evan Spenley or Angus Moolsdale in 3rd place. But it's Lullam, Stallmans. We'll have a little check next time around when the camera pans out. Or is that Goldstein? Did Goldstein, who made a poor start, get to the inside? Yes, Ellie Goldstein is there in 3rd place. But then it's Enzo Giuli up into 4th. Matthias Zagazzetta into P number 5. Looking down, oh, Spenley, Reid and Van Hoff were the 3 drivers that really got caught out there. Angus Moolsdale had to take evasive action. Joseph Taylor went wide. They're back outside the top 20, but still in the race. In fact, all 26 drivers have crossed the line to complete lap number 1. But several drivers now out of a chance of victory. And it's Lullum, Stallmans and Goldstein. So, can the British driver hold off the two local aces? Stallmans on that CRG kart, getting very close. Goldstein is there as well. Julie Wada in the number 20 kart. The Japanese driver, Masatora Wada, who started on the 7th row, but he was on the inside row. He's in that bright blue, well, no, that bright blue and yellow, luminous yellow kart. Number 20 for Evolution Racing. He's there in 5th position. Then Flynn Yackers. Oh, and there's the move. So, Tua Stallmans muscles his way underneath Chris Lullum. Eddie Goldstein goes through as well, but Goldstein leaves the door open for Lullum as they head out onto the back straight, and Chris Lullum just eases Eddie Goldstein wide. And I think Eddie Goldstein may have lost 3rd place there to Enzo Giuli. Yes, he did. So Goldstein back to 4th now. 5th is Wada. 6th is Xhaka. So Flynn Jackers in 6th position. Then Zagazeta 7th. Senna Eckers up into 8th place. Eureka. And Masatori Wada there getting into the side of Eddie Goldstein. The Belgians getting beaten up left, right and centre. Wada has a little nibble. Has more than a nibble. He takes a bit of a bite out of the side of the 48 kart. Coming into turn number 9 there. And Goldstein lost his momentum there, coming out of turn number 5 in the last lap when Lullum just eased him wide, and now he's back in the teeth of the snarling pack behind. And Goldstein there tries to duck back underneath the number 8 kart of Zagazeta, passes him. Wada chasing after Flynn Jackers. So Flynn Jackers, the Australian. Joseph Taylor, meanwhile, sets the fast lap of the race in kart number 44. Taylor was 20th at the end of lap number 1. He is now 18th and putting his foot down to try and recover from that moment at the first corner. But Tua Stallmans on lap number 4 out of 12, well, he's trying his best to break away. Enzo Giuli is going, and there's another move from Wada. So the Japanese driver in kart number 20, turn number 9, seems to be his favourite spot. And Eddie Goldstein also passes Flynn Jackers coming into turn number 11. So Goldstein now moves into 5th position, but the top 3 are 2.5 seconds up the road. And try as he might, Tua Stallmans cannot shake that number 1 plate kart. Enzo Giuli in the number 19, the CBK team kart, is trying to hang on. Lullum sets the fastest lap of the race. That is an ominous sign for Tua Stallmans. How long can the Belgian hold on? The top 3 have got a big gap over Wada in 4th, Goldstein in 5th, Zagazeta in 6th, Jackers, Eckers, Eureka, Kosseteng. That's your top 10. Dan Traeger up into 11th place, followed by Kadapek, Peltola, Dufek, Janssen. So from 25th to 15th, Rasmus Janssen. Eddie Goldstein now coming back onto the rear bumper of Wada. And of course, there goes Goldstein with the move. And I'm assuming that he'll ease Wada wide, as Wada took no prisoners when passing Goldstein earlier on. Lullum to the inside of Stallmans for the race lead, going into turn number 1 as we begin lap number 6 out of 12. Stallmans has to fight back now. It's now or never for Tua Stallmans. Every single race so far, when Lullum gets into the lead, he goes. The second half of the race is where Chris Lullum is so strong. And already you can see 2-3 kart lengths of clean air have appeared between the number 1 plate kart and the number 53 of Tua Stallmans. Julie's there in 3rd place. They're still 3 seconds up on Eddie Goldstein, who is now back into 4th, but that is too much of a gap to bridge for Goldstein without the top 3 battling amongst themselves. Behind Goldstein is Wada, then it's Zagazeta, the second group of karts. Flynn Yackers going through in the number 45, followed by Senna Eckers in the 12, and Yusi Eureka in the number 37 kart. Yusi going through there. There's Eureka at the back of that second group in the predominantly white Haas kart. Well, Eureka started down in 20 seconds. Finds himself running 9th. Kadapek for Estonia in the number 38 kart runs 10th. Joseph Taylor moves up to 14th. Angus Mooresdale, flew and all, recovering to 60th. There's Mooresdale going through your screen with the Cross St Andrew on his crash helmet. He's looking to try and pass Luis Delbart and doesn't make the move stick going into turn number 1. The leaders are coming down towards turn number 9 now, and Lullum doing exactly what he's done in nearly every race so far this weekend. easing out, just a kart length at a time. He's not massively quicker than everybody else, but he is consistent. And when you're a tenth of a second quicker than everybody else and you're consistent, it is pretty blinking hard to catch and stay with somebody that is not only fast but is smooth and inch perfect. And Lulham has been inch perfect pretty much all weekend. Goldstein pulling away from Wada, but the gap is 3.3 seconds to Lulham. Goldstein is closing in his Flynn Jackers in the number 45 kart, passes Mateus Zagatheta, and Zagatheta comes back at Jackers coming into turn number 6. Oh, has he made the move? Yes, he has. There's the AIX Racing, the turquoise coloured kart of Remo Kadapek going through the camera shot in 10th place. Here's Enzo Juli, the Frenchman in kart number 19, the 13-year-old driver, 12-year-old driver from Montpellier, who's holding on to the third and final step of the podium at the moment, but he cannot do anything as the spectators watch on. The karts flash across the screen. Into turn number 11 goes the rest of the top 10, now down through the top 20, and Jackers coming back at Zagatheta going into turn number 1. Here's Wada going through in 4th place, and UC Eureka in the number 37 is doing an excellent job for a driver that was outside the top 20 on the grid. Both he and Senna Eckers in the number 12 kart are doing a good job of hanging on in the top 10. Goldstein is pulling away. There's the leader, Chris Lulham, coming into turn number 8 now. And his lead is now half a second. But Ellie Goldstein was 2.8 seconds behind Enzo Juli. He is now just 2 seconds. He set the fastest lap of the race last time around. We're going to be going on to lap 10 out of 12. So Goldstein is running out of time. But he is closing. Juli now mounting a bit of an assault on Tour Stallmans. So Stallmans not able to hang with Chris Lulham. Here's UC Eureka. Here's Tour Stallmans coming into turn number 5 now. I'm pretty sure you're going to see, pretty soon you're going to see the Enzo Juli kart. Here's Juli, head down, trying to get into the slipstream of Tour Stallmans, and he's there. So Juli making his bid for second place on this, the 10th out of 12 laps. Behind them, Goldstein is closing on all of them, but Chris Lulham has a glance over his shoulders. He heads down towards turn number 9. He knows he's under no pressure. Stallmans has got no chance of catching him. Lulham doesn't need to defend. Here's Moolsdale going through the shot. Angus Moolsdale is back into the top 15 now. Flynn Jackers in the 45, holding off Mateus Zagatheta, Senna Eckers and UC Eureka. Then it's Remo Kadapek. Joseph Taylor making a move, and Joseph Taylor going past Eduardo Cosseteng, and that is going to put Taylor in the number 44 Fullerton kart into 12th place. Dan Traeger having a fantastic drive, the privateer driver in the number 24 Tony kart. He is chasing Remo Kadapek. So Kadapek in that turquoise coloured kart coming into turn number 6 now. Traeger behind him, directly behind him. But Enzo Juli is going to try and make a move on Tour Stallmans for second. The next time that Chris Lulham crosses the start-finish line, he will see the final lap board go out into turn number 1. 1,300 and something metres for Chris Lulham to hang on. Stallmans trying to hold off Juli for second place. Juli has to get the next part of the lap inch perfect to have a chance going into turn number 9 or into turn number 11. There are Juli's chances. Down the back straight, Lulham's got this one in the bag. Can Juli close in? He's about 2 kart lengths back as they go through the button complex into turn number 7. Lulham is going to take the win, barring some sort of mechanical catastrophe. He's keeping his head down. He's still pushing on. He's not relaxing. Drivers need to stay focused. If they relax, they lose concentration. Into turn number 11 for Chris Lulham. Can Juli duck out to pass Tour Stallmans? No, he can't. Goldstein's not going to catch him. Massatori Wada in 5th place. Lulham completes a perfect weekend here in Belgium. 5 races, 5 wins for the defending champion, and the number 1 plate will take a perfect score away from Belgium. It has been an inch perfect performance from Chris Lullum, and he heads back to Parc Fermé with his championship lead well and truly intact. Tour Staalmans take second place. There was nothing that Tour Staalmans could have done about Chris